All right, we're still on the Sportsmax Zone on this fantastic Friday, and we're going to talk some hoops now from the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics have taken a 1-0 lead in the 2024 NBA Finals after convincingly defeating the Dallas Mavericks 107-89 in their Game 1 clash in Boston at the TD Garden. The Celtics were led by their star shooting guard Jaylen Brown, who posted a team-high 22 points, while center Kristaps Porzingis returned from injury to drop 20 points off the bench for the Mean Green. Well, Celtic star Jason Tatum, who notched 14 points on the night, reflected on the Game 1 win.
It's surreal being in the finals. And, you know, when you're young, I guess in your career, you think you're always going to go back. And last year was kind of like a wake-up call when we didn't make it. So, you know, getting back to this point and being here is really a big deal. And, you know, we played well tonight, so a lot of things we feel like we could do better. But it definitely does feel good to win the first game. But we know that 2 years ago we won the first game and, you know, the outcome of that series. So we still have a lot of work to do.
Well, Luka Doncic's game-high 30 points was not enough for the Mavs as co-star Kyrie Irving had an underwhelming night, ending the game with 12 points. Well, here's the Mavs guard Kyrie Irving after the game.
We didn't perform the way we would have wanted to tonight. You know, it starts with me just being able to get out there and get us settled. I got to take some accountability for just the communication and just going out there and getting used to the way that the kind of environment was going to be. But I think my teammates did a great job of staying together, sticking to the game plan. We obviously made some mistakes, like I said, but we gave ourselves a chance in the second half, and we just got to continue to do the right things and win the quarters as much as we can.
Well, the Celtics will host the Mavericks in Game 2 at the TD Garden on Sunday. Here to review the action is our NBA analyst, Alister, who will dust the cobwebs off to talk some hoops with us today. Alister, what a match, and of course the Celtics walking away with that win.
Impressive win. You know, this was a series coming in. You know, I've done a few predictions with you guys for the last few years I've been on. And actually, this finals was probably the one that I had the most trouble with initially. But after seeing the Celtics play the Game 1 last night, the prediction that I made in the preseason preview that we did, I actually feel really safe with it now. The Celtics were able to just show their domination offensively. Kristaps Porzingis being the really key cog in that whole lineup. Of course, you have the guys like Jaylen Brown, who played outstandingly and kind of continuing that Eastern Conference Finals MVP run that he had, compensating for a little bit of an offensive off night for Jason Tatum. You know, he was playing really big in spite of Jason Tatum's off night. Porzingis was amazing, and you know, they were able to just put the brakes on the Mavs, and Luka and Kyrie are just realizing that this is a different type of competition they're facing right now, and the Celtics just prevailed in outstanding fashion.
Yeah, Kristaps Porzingis, an exclamation mark when it comes to, of course, both ends of the court. And I think we need to remind our viewers that he would have missed 10 playoff games coming into this match. He comes into this setup, Alister, and they say, you know, some people, it doesn't matter if they're missing for some time. They come back into a setup and they fit in perfectly. And I think he was what the team needed at this point in time.
Absolutely. You know, this is a guy that he was able to show, you know, and kind of, I believe, put them over the top in terms of making them the best team in the NBA and how they played, having the best record in the NBA because of his impact in their lineup. You know, his ability to stretch the floor, his defensive capability, being able to roam around as much as he did. In those 20 minutes, like you see, 21 minutes that you see there, 20.6 rebounds, 3 key blocks, you know, which was really outstanding to see. And for me, was probably one of the markers to show me how actually back he is. Because, of course, when you see you playing defense, you know, that takes quite a lot of effort. And the blocks that he had on Kyrie Irving, Jaden Hardy, and some of the players that he did, the 3 blocks that he did, it takes quite a lot of effort and it puts a lot of strain on that calf and also maybe the compensating on the other leg. And he was able to kind of get past that, didn't see any grimaces or anything, which is really important for these guys, because I think if Kristaps Porzingis goes down at any point in the series, this could make the Celtics a lot more vulnerable than he showed in game 1. So his presence, his shooting, the guy was shooting 30-foot 3-pointers, with ease last night and shooting over the top of players, and he was able to, just put them over the edge, over the top, over the Mavs. They just had no counter for him whatsoever.
Yeah, and another player that must also be commended for that win would be Jaylen Brown, that 22 points, 6 rebounds, and just how he's able to add to his entire team.
That's it. This is a guy coming in. Everyone, over the last few years, the talk has been, who's the better player on this team? Is it Jason Tatum? Is it Jaylen Brown? And, the last series, of course, he was able to get the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP trophy. But last night, again, I think he showed, let's forget about who's the best player on this team. But I am just as important as anyone else on this team. And, he's just kind of continuing to push. And, of course, right now he has the inside track, maybe on Finals MVP with the way he plays. I think a lot of people talk about, maybe there's a little bit of redundancy between him and Jason Tatum. But what he showed last night and what he's shown this postseason, he's actually complementary, because to Jason Tatum's finesse play, Jaylen Brown has played, really aggressively, going to the rack with, a lot of, force, dunking on a couple of guys last night. His defensive capabilities, rotating off in help defense under the rim, picking the pockets of Luka Doncic a couple of times. He played an all-round game, which was really important for the Celtics last night.
Yeah, and the Mavs, it has been their lowest scoring game in the postseason, of course. And for me, I'm asking the question to you, Alister. Should they be worried based on this? Because 89 points, a team like the Mavs, this is game 1 of the NBA Finals. Or should we look at it as, it's only game 1, and of course, they will come better?
They will come better. And I think, as we know, with a team with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, they have been, classed as probably one of the best offensive backcourt in the history of the NBA, as Stan Van Gundy said in the last set of rounds, where he was color commentating live on those games. And he's not really far off. He's not far-fetched. These guys are explosive, and you can expect I wouldn't say a regression, but an actual coming back up to the mean for these guys, where they actually be able to put up at least 50 to 60 combined points between them. The problem is, like you say, in terms of not being able to produce points, is the others. And because of the defense, the defensive versatility and the ability to rotate on the Celtics, they're able to kind of fan out and stop the guys and stymie the guys who are on the wings, on the corners, waiting for 3-pointers, getting, rotations and getting pushed off the line, or the 3-point line. So if the others, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford getting lobs in the middle, Derrick Jones Jr., if these guys are not producing, it puts too much strain on needing the offensive capabilities of Luka and Kyrie to kind of just push this team. The others need to produce, and if they don't, it's going to be really problematic for the Mavs going forward.
Yeah, Alister, I know that I don't think any of the regular season champions have gone on to win the NBA since the Golden State Warriors back in 2017. But the Celtics were by far the best team in the regular season. Why were you having doubts coming in? Is it because Porzingis, since the playoffs, hasn't been there, it just made the Celtics look different and, as you use a term just now, vulnerable?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the points for sure, because one of the things I said at the start of the season, I was really looking to see what Brad Stevens would do as the season went on in terms of the trade deadline, and whether or not he would actually get someone to back up Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis for the exact purpose of him being injured. I was really worried about what his health would be. Last night kind of puts a little bit of a damper on my concerns where he's concerned, because he played so well, and if they could limit his minutes and he kind of provide the production that he did, he'll actually be okay. And the Celtics just have a habit. We've seen it over the last 2 to 3 postseasons where turnovers become an issue. shot selection becomes an issue. They start to really, fall in love with the three-point shot and then have some cold nights. And that kind of really bothered me quite a bit. But the way that they've played this season and coming into this postseason, of course, many people said maybe this was the easiest path because of the injuries to the Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers, etc. They kind of had a cakewalk to the finals, but they were able to step up and play the ball that you expected them to play, to get to this point in the finals. And last night, they stamped their authority on the series. I think their defensive versatility and their offensive versatility is what's going to kind of propel them to move forward. And that's why I think after game one, I feel a little more settled in my prediction, thinking that they will win the series in 6.
Yeah, and quickly, we're out of time, but I just want to get a quick comment from you. It is clear that the Mavs' perimeter shooting last night was off. Is it that if they improve that in the coming games, that they could get back into the series?
Not just that, but their ball movement. Last night they were atrocious in assists. They were down. The deficit 23-9 in terms of assists. They were not moving the ball enough around, so they left Luka to do a lot of step back jump shots. Kyrie Irving was contested on quite a lot of the shots that he had. Moving the ball, in addition to, of course, making those shots, would be really important. But like Jason Kidd said, just have more fun. Move the ball around, get the open shots, make the shots. That's what kind of going to get them back in this series, being able to tie it up and kind of provide some resistance to the Celtics.
Yeah, and as we wrap this one up, Alister, I just remind myself it's only game one. We have game 2 to look forward to, and anything can happen. And hopefully we can chat with you again really, really soon. Thank you so much.
That's it. Hopefully we can do that. I look forward to see how the series progresses.
All right, Alister Albert there, our NBA analyst. We're going to take a quick break, and maybe I'll come back with Zone Update 2.